Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Unboxed, the podcast where we unravel the heart and soul of branding, marketing, and technology. I'm your host, AJ. Today, we are joined by someone who has over 2 decades of experience in product design and development. As the CEO of Design Consultants, he is well known in London's tech space for its expertise in crafting customized software and products. Holding several worldwide granted technology patents, he certainly lives up to his reputation as a digital wizard. He loves thinking out of the box and coming up with innovative ideas that are making a noticeable impact in the world of design and tech. Speaking of innovative ideas, he is now testing the waters with a brand new wellness concept. I want to welcome Rajiv Dave, and thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Jay. Thank you for inviting me onto the show.
In your own words, I just want to understand a little bit more about you. When your background, your history, your backstory, whatever you call it. Just want to understand a little bit more. Yeah.
I started out life in design actually at the BBC. A lot of people don't understand that the BBC used to design and manufacture their own broadcast equipment because there was no one at that time that could make the equipment.
I'm surprised. Yeah.
So I was part of the in-house design team specializing in digital audio.
Okay.
And I worked on NICAM stereo sound, HDTV, RDS radio. And this was years before that technology actually came out into the market. So I was used to working on technologies that were cutting edge, leading the way and setting the standard for the future. Then I progressed on to creating my own consultancy. I've sat on the board of a pharmaceutical company, worked on medical technologies, automotive technologies. I've been involved in manufacturing. So I've understood what it takes to take an idea, a glimmer, a spark, and translate that to a real product that people use. And more importantly, one that can actually be manufactured reliably, repeatedly, and at scale. And that's the magic. The being able to take an idea, conceptualize it, actually implement it, and then for it to be successful and repeatable.
Wow. That's really impressive. I mean, when you say that, this is news for me because I never knew BBC manufactured their own equipment at some point in time. But yeah, that's really amazing, awesome news. And your background, it's really impressive. When you talk about product design, looking at your background, it's a huge process, right? I mean, right from ideation, create that spark, like you mentioned, to actually putting it down into a blueprint and then getting the team to work on it, producing it and seeing the final result. Where in this whole journey, in this whole life cycle, what role do you play? Are you the idea person, or are you the execution person, or are you the finisher? How do you see yourself, or you just play a role in all these segments?
The starting point is the most important, because in any concept for a product or a solution, if you don't start right, you're not going to finish right. And importantly, when you're creating a product or a solution, it's to understand whether or not the product meets market needs, just meets it, or exceeds market needs, or creates a paradigm shift. And the paradigm shift is actually what you're trying to create. When you create a paradigm shift in a product, that means that the product has gone beyond what people expect and think. And that's what I try and do. In the creation of the product and the idea, you try and create a paradigm shift, something that really steps above and beyond what everyone else is thinking about.
Creates impact.
Creates real impact, but also creates change. You see that with all of the great innovators in time. they create paradigm shifts in the way taxis are run, in the way vehicles are created. Everywhere you look in every industry, you'll see paradigm shifts occur because people think outside the box. And it starts at the beginning. And then that paradigm shift and thinking needs to be followed through in every part of the process that leads from ideation all the way through to materialization, creating the final product.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I find it really interesting because my whole life I've been most of the time here in Dubai. I did a little bit of schooling here, was born and not born, basically brought up here. And Dubai is a perfect example of what happens when you have a brilliant idea and then you're able to execute it. The brand Dubai, I'm talking about the brand Dubai, because when you look at Dubai, it's miles apart from some of the other cities in the region, because you have a very visionary leader. And it's not just about the idea or the vision, but how you bring it to life. The execution part is as important as the idea. But what you said is absolutely right. You need a brilliant idea. You need a good start. And that really propels everything else. It just makes everything more easier because you have a clear vision of what you want and where you're going and how to do it, and what is how does the end result look like. And that just came to my mind when you talk when we're talking about this thing. The ideation and the execution part is crucial.
One other very important thing is to have an understanding of what it takes to get from an idea through to the end. Without an understanding of all the processes, the intricacies, you can't speak with authority. You can't speak with knowledge. You can't make assumptions. Yeah. When you have an idea of the process, you're then able to refine, optimize, further drive forward that process.
Yeah.
So experience creates wisdom. Wisdom is based on knowledge.
Yeah.
And that's what allows you to grow and build on that wisdom to create those shifts.
Wow. Impressive. I think that's really inspiring what you're telling me. Rajiv, from what I understand, and we've talked about this as well. You've designed. You say you've designed and you hold patents for so many products. Can you tell us exactly what kind of products these are? And I just want to understand, how do you, in product design? We are in design, but that's a different kind of design. It's mostly ideas and it's communication, branding, visual look and feel, and all that. But when it comes to a product, how is the process like? When you have an idea, the execution part and the final product. And I really would love to know, what are the kind of unique products that you've designed, and you say you hold some patents, worldwide patents from some of these products.
Yeah, sure. So I'll deal with the products that are patented, and they're actually medical devices, and there are innovative solutions to drug delivery problems. So I've worked with drugs of abuse and the delivery of those drugs of abuse to patients. And the patents surround technologies and systems that prevent the abuse and diversion of drugs by patients. So there are pharmaceutical products that people worldwide abuse, even painkillers. And it's a big problem in America. And the technologies I developed help to prevent those abusers from abusing those drugs by limiting access. So technology solutions, software solutions, hardware solutions, those are the patented products. In terms of other innovative products, we've worked on the whole EV infrastructure for the United Kingdom. We developed the very first charging infrastructure for the UK. Worked on digital audio products, many different streaming applications for portable streamers. Worked on bicycles, but worked on lighting, worked on consumer products. The range is enormous.
Very diverse.
Yeah.
How important is your team when it comes to developing these products? Because I know that without a great team who understands you, who share the same vision as you, who has a drive and energy as you have, it's impossible to make things happen. Can you tell us a little bit about your team? Like, who are the people who bring it to life, these ideas?
Yeah, the team is absolutely crucial. And what's most important in the team is being able to listen. Because if you have an idea and you share your idea with the team and the team disagree or the team want to go in a different direction, you have to be able to listen. Mm-hmm. In listening, you generate more ideas. Mm-hmm. The idea grows. You understand the problems, you understand the pitfalls, and it's only for the betterment. Mm-hmm. So the team I have is amazing. They have a significant amount of experience in many different areas. They've come from different backgrounds. And it's that diversity that allows you to take any idea, to take any concept, to scrunch it up, pull it apart, and work out all those kinks, and then come up with the right solution. Mm-hmm. And that's the key. Not to just head off and say, let's go and do it, but to really be critical and say, how do we break it? Look, why do products fail? Yeah. Because someone in the team has been arrogant. Someone hasn't listened. That's why products fail.
Listening is crucial.
Listening is absolutely crucial.
All right.
Often innovators have an idea and they pursue that idea because it's their idea, but they didn't listen to the market, and then the product fails. They don't listen to their team. The team say, do this, do that, change this, change that. But they go ahead anyway. Product fails. When you listen, not only to yourself, but to others, to the market, to the subliminal messages that are coming through, you then understand what's really required. And that's where you create those paradigm shifts.
When you're designing the product, or when you come working on a new idea, it doesn't always. There's two ways it could go. It could either fail, it could work out for you. And like any let's say invention or any new product that we design, what are the chances of success and failure when you designing something totally new? Is there any in terms of time, does it eat away a lot of your time fixing these problems? How do you do the testing on these products? At what stage do you apply for a patent? Does it need to undergo rigorous testing and certain amount or certain period of use before you can actually bring it out into the market for the masses? How does it work?
Yeah, sure. So look, any idea can succeed or fail, and it's all about, did you listen to the market well enough to be able to conceptualize this product to meet the market need? Once you've got a concept and you've taken it into a prototype stage, you have to do beta testing. You find a small group of people that you trust that will be critical of the product and its performance. You test it with those people for an extended period of time. They give you feedback. You adapt and change the product, and then you get to a point where you will go into an alpha test. So you'll then create a bigger subset of people that you will test this with, and then you'll get further feedback. That's the refinement phase. Refine it, and then you go for full product launch. But you will have to be manufacturer ready at the beta stage. In terms of patents, where you're asking, patents will happen very early on in the life cycle of the product development. Patents generally happen at the conceptual stage, not when the product is finished. So you're conceptualizing these ideas, you're conceptualizing ways to actually implement either software, hardware, or a system, or a philosophy. And at that point, you will patent it. But a patent isn't always the right thing to do. Remember that the patent is only of value if you're able to commercialize it, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes what's more important is to have first mover advantage, which means that the product isn't intrinsically patentable. Yeah. It's not intrinsically patentable because a patent means that it has to be unique and innovative. But maybe your product isn't unique and innovative, but what it does is it does something in a way that people really love. that first mover advantage allows you to go into the marketplace and capture the market. And that sometimes is more important than having a patent. However, saying that, the patent is of value when you're looking for investors, because investors are looking at intellectual property, intrinsic value. They think that the patent is intrinsic value within the company that holds something. But many patents out there are quite easy to circumnavigate. And the other thing to look at, if you show me patents, generally 8 out of 10 times I can circumnavigate a patent.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
All right. No wonder Apple, the amount of patents Apple files every year is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, but for Apple it's very, very important.
Important, yeah.
Very, very important, because they are saying that this is our landscape. This is an area that we're going to protect. Nobody else should come in there.
Yeah. So this is something I really love to talk about. Everybody knows in the office, and I'm sure they're going, oh no, he's going to go on that topic again. So I love technology. I love what's happening, what's right now, and there's a lot of rapid. It's rapidly evolving. New technology is coming in. There's a lot of generative AI. There is LLM, large language models being used, and in our space, like, if you're a product designer, I would like to say, I design emotions. Like, when we talk about brands, it's all about emotions, and it is starting to creep into some of the things that we do in the office. And I really tell my people to use that as a leverage, use that as a tool to empower you on your journey. Don't run away from it, but use it to empower what you do. When it comes to product design, looking at the current trends, what's happening in the market, do you see any shift in product design? Because I know you've been designing and producing products from a very, way back, while you were working with the BBC. What is your take on that?
Look, AI is here and is here to stay with us. AI is going to become an integral part of everyone's life. When you look at AI in product design, AI is forming such a strong element in the ideation of products, in the implementation of products, down even to the coding level. Now, you can just ask AI that you want a code function to do a specific job, and it writes the code for you in the language that you want. Which means that now the coders don't need to focus on the minutiae of the detail, but can look at the bigger picture. There is a GitHub repository which has millions and millions and millions of lines of code from millions of users worldwide. Those code repositories are now scoured by AI to pick out content, to allow others now to utilize that content to create solutions quicker.
Wow, okay.
And essentially, this is what AI will do for us. What used to take us a month to do, a year to do, takes a minute to do. This is what AI does.
Exactly.
But what does that mean? That means that we can create solutions quicker. We can create solutions that are more effective. Because the solution is delivered quicker, we can test it quicker, and we can deploy it quicker. We can iterate.
As an entrepreneur, what would you tell your people? Sometimes, this is something I faced within the company. Sometimes when you tell people to adopt a new technology, there's always a pushback because people don't like change, the resistant to change. And how would you approach this, and how would you tell your people? What would you tell your people with regard to adopting these new technologies?
Sure.
Would you tell them to embrace it, or?
Well, firstly, what's the analogy? The analogy is that we used to just use pen and paper.
Yeah.
Then we told our people, oh, look, computers have arrived. Why don't you start typing. Oh, there's a pushback.
Yeah.
But then they start typing and they love it.
Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah.
They love it. And then you give them phone. Oh, I don't want to use that phone. Yeah, I don't want to use smartphone. And then they love it. So now AI has come in and they feel threatened. They feel, well, why do I need to use this? I know what I'm doing. My message is that the AI is there to allow you to do your job better, for allow you to shine, to allow you to grow.
Exactly.
Because it's giving you information that you can use and you can integrate into your products, into your solutions, into your content that then serves whoever you're serving.
Yeah.
But in an amazing way.
Exactly. Rajiv, so I know that you're working on a very exciting software product, and it's a wellness product. I don't want to disclose too much of information because it's still under development. But from a brand perspective, what led you to come to us? Because usually what happens is when you start off a company or a brand or a product, people especially if it's a startup, they just want a logo, they want a brochure, they want get a copywriter, do some copy, they use ChatGPT. But what was the reason that you wanted to do it properly and spend so much of time and effort discussing, brainstorming, ideating, and coming up with the proper positioning and the communication and the branding for the product?
Yeah, as I said earlier, a successful product is derived from listening, not only to yourself, but to the marketplace, and having an understanding of what people actually want. And the branding process allowed us to open that up, to listen to the market, to understand what is it that they're actually looking for, what is it that they want to see, hear, and feel. What emotions are connected with the product? Does the product actually meet those needs? And that's why the branding is so important. Being able to find a purpose, being able to communicate the values, to have a mission statement. Those are the foundations of the product, the foundations of the company. That is bigger than just a logo, bigger than a website.
Yes.
These are the foundations on which you build, a skyscraper.
Exactly.
Without that foundation, you have loose bits of information.
I'm so glad that you understand this and the importance of this. And this is something, the first time we met you and we spoke about these things, and I think from the beginning, what I understood from talking to you was this was crucial. This was, something that you wouldn't compromise on. This is something that was very valuable to you to do it right, get it right. Because when it comes to core values, positioning, expression, everything needs to be done correctly. The foundation needs to be right. Otherwise, you're building on the wrong foot. And one other question, Rajiv, that I want to touch upon is with regard to your entrepreneurial journey. Hustling is now a thing. Everybody wants to get into the space. Kids who just come out of college want to do something on their own. What advice do you give, a young entrepreneur or someone who wants to start something on his own? What kind of advice would you give based on your experience? Looking at your journey, what kind of advice would you give that person?
The first thing is take a risk. Take a risk.
Yeah.
Go and do.
Yeah.
Go and try. Test. Don't give up when it fails. Try again. Try again. Let failure be something that you learn from. Embrace it. Use it as power. Power to keep going forward. Many people fail and then stop.
Right.
I failed so many times in my life. And in every failing, I smile. I smile because I've learned so much. And it empowers me to go forward. Take that learning to do something better. To do it right. It allows me to listen better. So the message is keep going, keep trying, Don't give up. Listen.
I think this is one word that I'm going to take away. Listen, because you've from the start of the podcast, something that you really emphasized on the listening part, and I truly believe that this adds value to everything that you're doing. This really, and people don't listen. People don't listen. They just want to talk, and I think that's where a lot of mistakes happen. A lot of things go wrong. And I think if you have the right habit of listening and understanding, it just makes. And I think if I ask you the next question, I think you're going to say the same answer, because the next question is, where do you find your inspiration? Because you're a designer yourself. You
I
design.
listen.
Yeah, listen. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that was it. I guess that's it, Rajiv. It was wonderful having you.
Thank
It was
you.
a nice conversation, and it was some of the things that you've talked about in terms of listening, and that was the key takeaway. I mean, for me as well, that's a really key takeaway. I do love listening to people, and I always tell my sales team, guys, stop pitching your ideas. Stop talking to the customers. Just listen to them. They just want to be heard.
Simple.
Yeah, simple. So that's why I always think. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank
It
you.
was wonderful having you, and I hope we can have. And once the product is launched, I really want you to talk more on the product itself, because it's something very unique, and I really want to, just talk to you a lot more on that.
Yeah, I'd love to share it with you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for listening to us, tuning to us. We are available on all major platforms, Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube. Please do check us out, subscribe, and thank you for being part of the show.